Alright, it is currently 4 p.m. on the dot. It's Thursday, October 1st, 2024. You're looking at the demonic right here. There is no position where the sun is over the apartment building that would create sunlight on the ceiling above, on the inside of a structure. Where, remember, all the blinds are closed. You also have impossible light activity that's occurring at a downward trajectory on this furniture, this plastic container. And it's also, as I'm documenting in still images for the last couple hours, appearing and disappearing on this floor, stretching across the floor, stretching across, that's at a downward trajectory, while the stationary impossible light that reaches behind the front door, down the wall, which is where it remains for the duration of the day, no matter what side of the front door that the fake sun remains. And it has nothing to do with the fake sun that's outside. This isn't sunlight. This is the direct evidence of state surveillance, which is a demonic system of the state's pattern of conduct. That is direct evidence, in other words, that you are surrounded by demons who are also stalking you as a population. It's group stalking. Direct evidence of it. Along this patio door is where I've been documenting ongoing stalking via impossible light activity, which is a supernatural occurrence. It's the demonic underway. The entity is engaging in what is the demonic pattern of conduct, and it's supposed to result in the ordinary targeting individuals falsely being depicted as suffering from some mental illness while they surround you with what is an entirely demonic environment that defies what is naturally defined. And that's where documentation of that demonic P.O.C. is instrumental for the prosecution of the state of California, who is engaging in what is stalking you in this environment. The engineered light is integral with regard into what is criminal presence amongst the demonic feature of what is amplified audible activity, which is what the demon in apartment 55 provides, and the demon inside of this apartment provides. This is impossible occurring on the floor, appearing again underneath the covered patio that's outside. It's a covered patio. And all that's speaking to what is light that's again underneath into the depths, doing some sort of gymnastics in order to appear underneath the patio onto the floor inside of the apartment building. This is being surrounded with what is engineered light, okay? The entity is doing so while the fake sun is also over the property, and the fake sun has nothing to do with this separate and direct evidence revealing what is criminal surveillance and federal stalking online by the population, who is also sharing presence around you in that environment. Routinely here, the Ontario Police Department are stalking. All right, so I just want to show you what is the fake sun. That is, by the way, nowhere near the 9750 Key Point Holiday Inn, where there would never be any sunlight, period, based on the presence of a covered structure. This is impossible light activity. This is the maintenance of, again, engineered light that's appearing in this manner underneath the covered structure after a duration of time where I'm showing you the sunrise at the same environment. This is where you're understanding demons are stalking in a sky space. It includes the Ontario International Airport, demons stalking in planes, the Ontario Police Department, demons stalking in helicopters, and the people of the state, demons that are living at a senior citizen community where the fake sun is present for over 11 hours, and the demonic environment is shared through what is a criminal presence. This is criminal activity that the state of California is engaging in. There is no angle where sunlight is going to appear in this manner. This is place light, directed light, engineered light, and it's reaching into the apartment building, and it goes even beyond that. It reaches into the apartment. This is demonic on its face, and here's my shadow upright on the wall. Okay, that's P.O.C. What you're looking at is, again, where I'm showing you Avanath Communities group stalking in the morning while that demon goes from the pool house to open up the pool gate. She's group stalking. Avanath Communities also lives at the property, and they're living in relevant position, group stalking where the fake sun is rising. They're going to be prosecuted for that. And here's the fake sun at the same exact location where it was this morning, right over the pool house. That was at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 8 hours later. There is no natural environment that consists of the stationary presence of what is not, under no circumstances, the sun. This is the light source, as I have appropriately referred to it. Also, this is not the explanation for light that's reaching underneath a structure right here into the depths on the floor underneath the patio blinds. It's also not the explanation regarding the dynamic engineered light that I'm continuously documenting on the PDF entitled WSA-The People. Engineered light is sweeping across the patio blinds on the inside, and the evidence of that demonic and supernatural occurrence is literally the demonic that you're looking at, the fake sun, and also the stationary impossible light activity that's inside. The placement of this light source has nothing to do with the impossible light activity through closed blinds that's appearing on the floor, appearing and disappearing, and also appearing behind this front door while the door is closed, doing so while somebody is stalking in the path, doing so with the entity that's maintaining presence on an ongoing basis in the environment, doing so with malice. That's what the people of the state represent, and that's why they're going to federal prison. This is where the entity is stalking in helicopters and flying over a senior citizen complex and commercial airline planes outside of zoning provisions, and clearly targeting by virtue of that elevation of such planes and amplification of that audible activity. It's the elements of monitoring that you're witnessing, and it's also exposing very severe mental illness, okay? There is no natural natural environment that's going to be shared also with at 4 p.m. The entity is maintaining a so-called natural environment at Woodside Senior Apartments. And this, that's over Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, is not here. It's not creating my shadow right here in front of me. It's not creating any sunlight inside of the windows underneath the patio blinds. It's not creating any sunlight that's appearing and crawling on the floor, which is on its face, not sunlight. Okay, it is indeed the demonic. And the entity is engaging in what is an ongoing demonic pattern of conduct, while demons such as the one in apartment 55 is keeping me under surveillance, knows when my panties are up and down, and also knows what it is that I'm documenting while she's engaged in ongoing ceaseless terrorism by the neighborhood, the entire neighborhood that's engaging in the pattern of conduct, and they're all simultaneously being documented, and they will all be also prosecuted as the state that's engaging in what is the maintenance of a specific environment where the fake sun rises, and 8 hours later it's still here, and this is where it sets. This is where the entity is stalking in planes and helicopters in conformity to the well-documented P.O.C. This is where an entity is stalking with impossible light activity that is cycling inside of this apartment, having nothing to do with sunlight. Okay, the impossible light activity, in other words, inside of here, is distinct from what is the evidence of federal group stalking and monitoring under a fake sun. The entire property, Woodside Senior Apartments, which is Avanath Capital Management, are group stalking together, and it's criminal conduct, and it's a federal offense. It's domestic terrorism. They're engaged in surveillance online as well. And as you're looking at the impossible light activity, the entity is doing so while Avanath Communities is crossing paths in that environment, and Engineer Light moves on the inside on an ongoing basis. This is terrorism and harassment as an entity that's engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring and state surveillance online as well, which the population will be prosecuted for, including, again, a demon that's over the corrupt police department, Mike Lorenz, the demon that's over the corrupt airport, Alan D. Wapner, all right, the demons that are, again, profiting while this criminal system is happening on their real property, which they're not ignorant about, and that is Avanath Capital Management LLC, whose employees, all right, whose demon-possessed residents, whom they're profiting while state surveillance is underway. This light activity appearing on the ground underneath the structure 8 hours after the sunrise is captured at the same evidence is the evidence of demons who are stalking and keeping under surveillance. Has nothing to do with what is a light that's reaching out a different direction. It's on the floor. It's above the blinds. It's reaching behind the door. It is also varying concentration levels, and it's also on the ceiling. This is my shadow that's appearing above your head. That's entirely demonic, okay? Opening up the door and looking out like you saw the demon that's group stalking inside of her own apartment. She's gonna be prosecuted. The entity is doing so with malice, and that's obsessive group stalking while that demon popped their head out to monitor me. Obsessive maintenance of presence and engineered light is the P.O.C. And the demon here, 55, is group stalking with the demon here, 51, and they represent the state, engaging in ongoing ceaseless P.O.C. Terrorism by directed light. Terrorism, as you saw, the peephole is a means of concentrated light that was touching all over that wall. That's the demonic. That's the demonic. That's the demonic, it's not sunlight. And the entity keeps a fake sun for 11 hours. It sets here at 6 p.m. This is the P.O.C. at 4:08 p.m. The entity's keeping the fake sun over me at Planet Fitness off of Washington in L.A., where LAPD is flying over my head in helicopter at that same time. The entity's keeping the fake sun when I'm at Alvarado Gardens inside of the laundry room, and the entity's heavily stalking at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles. I lived and worked, and there is no provision that the sun would ever be Woodside Senior Apartments, nor is this any of this sunlight. That's all understanding the juxtaposition. There's no sun that's going to be over me while I am en route to Las Vegas, Nevada, where I'm capturing the so-called sun that's stationary at Woodside Senior in Ontario, and it's remaining over my vehicle while I'm arriving in Nevada, as I documented early August of 2024, and it's right over my sunroof while I'm en route. I arrived to the MGM Hotel at after 5 p.m. The entity kept the fake sun out of the state of California, directly over my vehicle as I drove out of this state. That's understanding the demonic, okay? This is where the entity's engaged in ongoing terrorism via dynamic engineer light. This is all stationary engineer light, and it's appearing and disappearing. Okay, has nothing to do with sunlight. It's the evidence of the condition of those who are stalking you. It's the people of the state who are demon possessed, moving all around in engineer light that's inside of where they live, and they'll be hauled to federal prison from wherever they live. Okay, it is again 4:09 p.m. This is P.O.C. Avanath Capital Management will be civilly and criminally prosecuted for the ongoing threat to my life, safety, and well-being, as I'm advocating on behalf of the ordinary targeted individual who to this conduct. This is the nature as you are understanding the P and analyzing the unnatural environment, and you're recognizing what is unnatural behavior by those that are in that environment. okay? And it's the intent of that population and the specific knowledge to engage in a pattern of conduct in that demonic environment. It is the work of Satan. This is what California is doing, and this is ongoing evidence within the P.O.C. while they keep all of my communication devices under surveillance, engage in ongoing criminal acts of obstruction of justice, intending to harass and terrorize because I'm documenting and prosecuting them. And it includes the demon that's right here, P.O.C. And by right here, I mean in relevant position in her bedroom, group stalking incessantly, P.O.C.